husband here hosting the Maglite podcast, and I am so glad to have somebody here because we're getting near that time of year when you hear the term spring cleaning, right? You get past Easter and it's like time to kind of declutter the house, which is a word I thought only me and my wife used, declutter, but apparently she uses it too. Whitney Grimes joins us. She's the queen of all things home, and you can find her on the internet. I believe I was on your YouTube page earlier this morning looking at some of your videos. And man, I need to do a better job of ironing because my Maglite logo is getting bunchy, but well, a problem for another day. Well, at least I have some Maglite product here in front of me. Here's one of our newest offerings, the MagTac 2, which for you tactical people and law enforcement types, this is something you'd be very interested in. And of course, Whitney, how did you get into, well, you're a mother of two young children, correct?
I am. I have two small kids, a 6 and a 3-year-old.
Okay, and having been through that myself and now having teenagers, well, it's not really fair to say I went through it because my wife did all the work, but I saw it. I was close by when the parenting was happening, so that counts. I was a nearby observer. So when you have kids, you really have to think about where is everything, and especially they add a lot of stuff to the house, and so decluttering, it drives my wife nuts. I'm the cook in the house and I leave stuff everywhere when I'm done cooking. And she's like, no. You got to go in there and put that all away. Why do you have to use every tool in the kitchen at the same time? How is that possible? Anyway, so you, of course, being queen of all those sorts of things, this is your time of year. What would you say got you started in this area?
So honestly, I started my page about 2 years ago. We moved to Greenville, South Carolina then for my husband's job. We bought a very builder grade house. We came in about 6 weeks before it was completed, so we couldn't really change anything, but we loved the house. So we were like, well, we can make it our own. So we started doing quite a few projects. And then honestly, I was thinking, you know what? Maybe somebody else is in this same boat. I'm going to start a page and kind of share what we're doing. So I typically share like DIY projects on my page, and then also home decor, and then decluttering and things like that, just kind of all things home. So I really just kind of took the leap because it's what I was looking at, so I figured if I'm looking at it, other women are too.
And so you've actually interacted with Maglite before and done a little work with us. What was that like?
It was great. Yeah. Honestly, they had reached out. So I had made some content for Maglite 2, kind of in a little bit maybe more home related for that. But I was first introduced, to Maglite as a small child. So I was very aware of the brand before they ever even reached out.
And how was that introduction? How did that work?
My dad is a big fan of Maglite. So he worked in a factory his whole life until he honestly just retired last year. And while he would work in the factory during the day, he honestly had like a cabinet shop, and we had a shop on our property, and he would make all kitchen cabinets, gun cabinets, cutting boards, anything with wood essentially. And I remember being out there 6, 7 years old, and he would have like the massive, Maglite one to work on the equipment. If something would fail, he needed to work on it. That's the brand he chose. So I remember always just those big black flashlights, the Maglite ones.
And so as a kid, you kind of have a nice memory. And that's the case for a lot of folks is they were introduced to Maglite when they were younger because their parents, their brother, somebody else in the family always swore by Maglite. And so for you, you're still using Maglites today. Why? What is it about the Maglite brand that makes it something you want to use?
I mean, honestly, I would say it comes down to reliability. A flashlight's one of the things you want it to work when you need it, and you're never really expecting to need a flashlight until it happens. It's just like for take Saturday for instance. Our whole neighborhood lost power. An accident hit a pole, and the Maglite under the sink is exactly what I grabbed when everything went dark. And then also, I would just say the durability of it. Like, I don't want to be buying flashlights every couple months. You buy one, it lasts forever. So
Yeah, it's actually That's actually something that everybody almost universally says is the Maglites are just nearly indestructible. In fact,
Yeah.
we have what we call the Mag Museum at Maglite World Headquarters in Ontario, California, which is, by the way, the building where every Maglite in the world is manufactured, designed, everything. All of that happens in that building here in the United States. Now, um, with that said, is the fact that the Maglite is manufactured in the USA another feature for you that matters?
It's huge. I think especially now everything is quite expensive and really you get what you pay for. I think you could buy a flashlight and you could buy one and get it shipped to you quickly and you can't pronounce the name and it's going to die within a month. Or you can spend a little more and pay for it to be made in the United States and it's going to last. I think that's such a big feature.
You should be a Maglite influencer or something.
It
Just
should
say,
be.
just say. Um, what is it this spring cleaning coming up, that time of year? What type of tips would you share with our viewership here? Or can you direct them to places where they can go see things that will give them advice on decluttering, cleaning? A big one for us also is I'm a condiment freak when it
Oh,
comes to food.
oh yeah, yes.
And so you can never find anything in the refrigerator because
Yeah,
there's just this wall on every shelf of the stuff that's in front. And if
yeah.
it's in the back, forget it. You're going to find it a year from now. Any advice on that sort of thing?
I would recommend for you, we have them in our fridge right now. I put Lazy Susans everywhere, the things that spin, fill them with condiments. I have them all in my refrigerator so that I'm also like 4'11". So if it's up high, I can't get it. And so I at least could spin the Lazy Susan around, get it, and it lets me be able to see what I have. That way nothing's shoved in the back. Because if it's living in the back, it's not coming out anytime soon. So that's one of my
Uh,
things.
we have those in our spice cabinet
Yeah. We
because
have that.
otherwise, forget it.
Yep.
You're never going to find the thing that you're looking for when you want it.
Right? I have them everywhere under the sink, in the fridge, yeah, in the pantry, and then clear bins. I have to be able to see how many, like, of what I have left. It just helps me be able to restock or know, oh, I need to buy this. So
And of
clear bins.
course, there's a video on your site about these things. Where do people find you and your information?
So you can find me on Instagram and also TikTok at Our Charmed Abode. That's just my name on there. You can search me there. So I have
Whitney
all my.
Grimes, Whitney, Grimes, Grimes. And one more time with the brand.
Yeah.
What's the brand one more time?
I'm sorry, Our Charmed Abode, ABODE.
Now, if you have questions for Whitney specifically, you can send it to podcast at maglite.com, and we'll have her back and we'll ask your questions and she will answer them. I won't answer them. Whitney will answer the questions. I will ask them. And once again, it's ourcharmedabode.com. And you love Maglite because they're durable. They're also childproof.
I need that. I'm telling you, I try not to have too many fragile items in my house at their level. And I don't care for keeping mine under the sink if they do get it because they're not going to break it.
It's true that, kids can get into lots of things. And so you want stuff to be at their level, pretty much indestructible. Been through it myself. Again, I was nearby when the parenting happened. It was mostly done by my wife. I was occasionally involved, but I was a close observer. So I did get some tips. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. I'm Lou Desmond for the Maglite Podcast. Till next time.